Have you ever wondered why certain families seem to generate wealth that spans across generations, while others struggle paycheck to paycheck no matter how hard they work? For decades, people have looked at financial success through the lens of pure economics, market timing, or sheer luck. But when we examine ancient wisdom, particularly the profound teachings preserved within the Torah and the Talmud, we discover a completely different reality. There is one specific, transformative money habit that separates the truly wealthy from everyone else, and it has almost nothing to do with what stocks you buy or what interest rate you receive on your savings account. This habit is rooted in a sacred understanding of how flow works in the universe, how blessing attaches itself to action, and how money is not merely a static object to be hoarded, but a dynamic tool meant to elevate our entire existence and the world around us. Throughout history, sages and scholars have observed that financial freedom is not an accident of birth, nor is it reserved for a privileged few who happen to guess the right trends. Rather, wealth is a science, a spiritual discipline, and an architectural design of habits that anyone can learn and master regardless of their starting point. Welcome, my dear friends, and thank you for joining me today. I am Rabbi David, and for many years I have dedicated my life to studying the timeless intersection of spiritual abundance and practical financial stewardship. Every single week, I speak with wonderful men and women, people aged between 45 and 65 and beyond, who have worked tirelessly for decades. You have built families, supported communities, and weathered economic storms. Yet, many of you feel a lingering anxiety about the future, wondering if your resources will truly sustain the life you deserve in your golden years. You might feel like you are running on a treadmill, generating income but never truly creating lasting, secure abundance. Today, we are going to unlock the ancient secret that changes everything. We are going to explore the single money habit that shifts your financial reality from scarcity to overflow. We will look past the superficial advice found in modern financial media and dive deep into the enduring truths that have sustained thriving communities for thousands of years. To understand this habit, we must look at how the ancient sages of the Talmud viewed wealth creation. In the Tractate of Tanit, our sages teach a fascinating principle regarding generosity and abundance. They discuss the verse that tells us to give tithes so that we may be blessed, noting that this is the only commandment in the entire Torah where God explicitly invites us to test Him. People often think of saving as the ultimate financial virtue. We are told to squirrel away every penny, to cut back on every enjoyment, and to live in constant fear of loss. But the wealthy mind, cultivated through thousands of years of Torah wisdom, operates on an entirely different premise. The wealthy understand that money is like water in a well. If you seal the well tightly to keep every drop inside, the water stagnates, turns foul, and eventually dries up. But when you draw from the well, when you allow water to flow out continuously, underground springs replenish it, keeping the water fresh, clean, and abundant. This foundational metaphor encapsulates the entire philosophy of ancient wealth building. True prosperity comes not from holding tightly to what you have, but from mastering the art of sacred circulation. And for those who are truly serious about accelerating their journey, for a limited time, I am opening the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School for just $299. This is where I unveil the complete Torah wealth system, the full architecture of ancient wisdom applied to modern financial transformation. You can find the link in the comments below this video, in the description, and if you are watching on my YouTube channel, you will also see a QR code on the banner of my channel page. Just open your phone camera, point it at the QR code, and it will take you directly to the school. The doors are closing soon, so do not wait. Let us examine more deeply what this habit actually entails in our daily lives. Most people approach money with a closed fist. When you hold your hand tightly clenched, protecting every dollar as if your very survival depends on holding onto it, you create tension. You signal to the universe that there is not enough, that resources are scarce, and that you are alone in your struggle. The Torah teaches us that the world is filled with divine abundance, but our capacity to receive depends entirely upon our capacity to release. The habit of the wealthy is the habit of intentional, purposeful circulation. When money comes into your possession, the very first question you should ask is not how quickly you can hide it away, but how you can direct it purposefully to create value, support others, and generate further blessing. When you transition from a consumer mindset to a creator and distributor mindset, your entire economic horizon expands exponentially, opening doors you never knew existed in your field. Consider the way agriculture was practiced in ancient Israel. The laws of the Torah instructed farmers to leave the corners of their fields unharvested, to leave fallen sheaves on the ground, and to allow the poor and the stranger to come and glean. To a purely materialistic mindset, this looks like a foolish business practice. Why would you deliberately give away a portion of your harvest? Why would you reduce your immediate profits? Yet, the farmers who followed these divine statutes experienced profound and reliable prosperity. Why? Because by participating in the flow of divine compassion, they aligned themselves with the source of all harvest. They acknowledged that the land belongs to the Creator and that they are merely stewards of the abundance entrusted to their care. This principle applies directly to our businesses, our investments, and our careers today. When we partner with a higher purpose, our efforts are blessed with resilience and enduring success that withstands every economic downturn. This brings us to the core psychological and spiritual shift that every person between 45 and 65 needs to embrace. At this stage in life, many of us begin to calculate our worth based entirely on our net worth statements, our retirement portfolio balances, and the equity in our homes. While financial planning is essential and responsible, tying your inner peace and emotional security exclusively to numbers on a screen leaves you vulnerable to every fluctuation of the stock market. When the market dips, your anxiety spikes. When unexpected expenses arise, your peace shatters. The Torah wealth habit liberates you from this emotional roller coaster by anchoring your security in a higher principle of stewardship and active circulation. You stop viewing money as a scorecard of your personal worth and start viewing it as an instrument of divine purpose, knowing that as long as you maintain the flow, you will always be sustained by forces far greater than Wall Street and human institutions. Let us look at another profound teaching from the Talmud in the Tractate of Ketubot. Our sages discuss the practice of tzedakah, which is often mistranslated as charity, but actually means righteousness or justice. The sages teach that money given in tzedakah is not a loss. Rather, it is described as salt that preserves wealth. Just as salt preserves food from spoiling, giving a portion of your income to support noble causes and uplift your fellow human beings preserves and protects the remainder of your wealth from erosion, unexpected tragedies, and unwise investments. Think about that for a moment. The ancient wisdom traditions understood something that modern financial advisors are only beginning to discover through behavioral economics. Generosity is not a subtraction from your wealth, but an insurance policy and an amplifier for your financial future. When you give with joy, you establish an energetic boundary around your assets that repels waste and attracts limitless opportunity. Now, let us examine how this applies practically to your bank accounts, your investments, and your daily spending decisions today. When you receive your paycheck or business revenue, how do you allocate it? Most people pay their bills, buy what they want, save whatever happens to be left over, and if there is anything remaining at the end of the month, they might consider giving a small amount to philanthropy. The wealthy invert this formula entirely. They practice intentional allocation. From the very first dollar that enters their hands, they designate a portion for sacred purpose, a portion for growth and investment, and a portion for living expenses. By putting sacred purpose first, they establish a psychological and spiritual hierarchy that elevates money from an idol of worship into an instrument of divine purpose. This simple yet profound structural shift changes everything about how money behaves in your life, turning confusion into absolute clarity and control. Many people ask me, Rabbi David, how can I practice this if I am already struggling to pay my bills and fund my retirement? That is a very fair and honest question. When you are worried about making ends meet, the idea of letting go of money feels counterintuitive and terrifying. But remember the principle of the well we discussed earlier. You do not wait until the well is completely dry before you start sharing water. You begin where you are, with whatever you have. Even if it is a modest amount, the act of giving with a joyful heart transforms your relationship with money. It shifts your mindset from a position of victimhood and scarcity to a position of agency and abundance. You realize that you are no longer at the mercy of economic forces, but operating as a partner in creation. Small, consistent steps taken in faith compound over time into monumental financial transformations. Let us explore the concept of the merchant mindset found in the Proverbs of King Solomon. King Solomon was arguably the wealthiest man of his time, and he wrote extensively about the mechanics of diligence, wisdom, and financial success. In Proverbs, we read about the woman of valor whose merchandise is profitable and whose candle goes not out by night. What does this mean for us today? It means that wealth creation is an active, mindful endeavor. It requires vigilance, education, and the willingness to plant seeds in fertile ground. The wealthy do not let their money sit idle in accounts earning negligible interest while inflation quietly erodes their purchasing power. They educate themselves, they invest in assets that produce real value, and they continuously expand their financial literacy. They understand that financial ignorance is a severe tax on your potential, while knowledge is the master key to lasting freedom and generational security. This is precisely why continuous learning is such an essential pillar of the Torah wealth system. Throughout history, wealthy families have prioritized education above all else. They teach their children how money works, how businesses operate, and how to manage risk intelligently. In our modern era, many people reach their 50s and 60s believing that their financial education is complete. They rely on outdated advice that no longer serves them in an evolving economic landscape. To break out of the ordinary and step into true financial freedom, you must commit to being a lifelong student of wealth. You must understand how capital flows, how to evaluate opportunities, and how to protect your assets from unnecessary taxation and market volatility. Investing in your own mind is always the highest yielding investment you will ever make in this lifetime. Let us reflect on the spiritual dimension of earning money. In modern society, there is often an unspoken cultural narrative that suggests spirituality and wealth are fundamentally incompatible. People assume that to be truly spiritual, one must struggle financially, and that having wealth somehow implies compromise or greed. The Torah completely dismantles this false dichotomy. Throughout the biblical narratives, great patriarchs and leaders such as Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and King Solomon were men of immense wealth. Their wealth was not viewed as an obstacle to their righteousness, but as a direct testament to their blessing and their capacity to do good on a massive scale. Wealth in the hands of a righteous person is a powerful engine for kindness, justice, and community healing. When you possess financial abundance, you gain the extraordinary power to be an instrument of healing in the world. You can support educational institutions, fund medical research, help families in distress, and build community projects that outlive you by generations. When you view money through this elevated lens, earning ceases to be a stressful grind driven by greed or fear. Instead, it becomes a sacred calling. Every successful business deal, every wise investment, and every dollar earned is infused with purpose because you know that your success enables you to lift others up along the way. This realization brings a profound sense of peace and fulfillment that mere accumulation can never provide. Now let us examine the danger of stagnation, which is the exact opposite of the wealthy habit we are discussing today. In the Hebrew language, the word for wealth is related to the root word for honor and weight, but it is also connected to motion and flow. When wealth is trapped, when it is hoarded out of fear, it loses its vitality. Have you ever noticed how people who hoard every penny often live in a state of constant stress and psychological poverty, regardless of how large their bank balance appears on paper? Their fear of losing money is so intense that they are essentially prisoners of their own vault. True wealth gives you freedom, not imprisonment. The habit of circulation ensures that money serves you rather than you serving your money. It allows you to breathe easy, knowing that your resources are working dynamically in the world to create goodness. As we navigate the second half of life, the decisions we make carry profound weight. Many of you watching today are looking ahead to retirement or already living in retirement. You might be wondering how to restructure your assets so that you never outlive your money. The answer lies in combining timeless Torah principles with sound modern financial strategies. You must create diversified streams of income, protect your principal from unnecessary risks, and maintain that vital habit of generosity and circulation. When you give wisely and invest prudently, you create an unbreakable ecosystem of financial resilience that sustains you through any economic climate and leaves a proud legacy for your children and grandchildren. Let us examine another incredible lesson from the sages regarding the timing of our financial efforts. In the Ethics of the Fathers, we are taught that it is not incumbent upon us to complete the entire work, nor are we free to desist from it. This means that financial mastery is a journey of daily discipline. Every single choice you make, from how you manage a small expense to how you allocate a major investment, contributes to the building of your financial temple. When you approach your finances with intentional awareness and sacred commitment, you align yourself with the eternal laws of prosperity that have governed human flourishing since the dawn of creation. Let us also consider the power of community and mentorship. No person achieves extraordinary wealth entirely in isolation. Throughout history, learning and business have always been conducted within vibrant communities of study and mutual support. People who isolate themselves in their financial decisions often make repetitive mistakes because they lack outside counsel and wisdom. Surrounding yourself with mentors, teachers, and peers who share your commitment to growth and higher purpose is one of the most effective catalysts for financial acceleration. When you share insights, discuss strategies, and hold each other accountable, your capacity for success multiplies manifold. Let us explore how patience and long-term vision play a critical role in accumulating and preserving wealth. In our fast-paced modern world, everyone is looking for get-rich-quick schemes, overnight success stories, and speculative bubbles. People jump from one trendy investment to another, losing their hard-earned savings in the process. True wealth, however, is built like a magnificent cathedral. It requires architectural planning, sturdy foundations, steady bricklaying, and unshakable patience. When you adopt the long-term horizon taught by our ancient sages, you stop chasing fleeting shadows and start building enduring assets that will stand firm against any economic storm. Let us reflect upon the power of gratitude in shaping our financial destiny. Gratitude is not merely a polite social custom, it is a profound spiritual technology that reprograms our perception of reality. When you constantly complain about what you lack, you amplify scarcity in your life. But when you wake up every single day with genuine appreciation for the resources, talents, and opportunities currently in your hands, you create a magnetic resonance for greater abundance. The sages teach that the truly rich person is the one who rejoices in their portion. By cultivating deep gratitude, you transform anxiety into peace and limitation into limitless possibility. Let us examine the vital role of resilience and recovering from setbacks. In life, every successful investor and entrepreneur encounters unexpected challenges, market corrections, and temporary failures. The difference between those who ultimately triumph and those who give up lies in their perspective on setbacks. The Torah teaches that the righteous person falls 7 times and rises again. Your financial worth is never defined by a temporary downturn or a miscalculated venture, but by your unwavering determination to learn, adapt, and move forward with renewed wisdom and strength. Let us also touch upon the importance of integrity in all financial dealings. In the Talmud, the very first question a person is asked when they arrive in the heavenly court is not how much money they made, but whether they conducted their business affairs with absolute honesty and integrity. True Torah wealth can never be built on deceit, dishonesty, or taking unfair advantage of others. Ethical business practices create sustainable trust, and trust is the ultimate currency of commerce. When your word is your bond and your transactions are impeccably clean, doors open effortlessly and partnerships flourish. Let us examine the final piece of this puzzle, which is the mindset of legacy. As we build wealth, we must always look beyond our own lifetime. The greatest legacy we can leave is not merely financial inheritance, but the transmission of wisdom, character, and values to the next generation. When you teach your children and grandchildren the sacred habit of circulation, stewardship, and generosity, you ensure that the blessing continues to multiply long after you are gone. This is the true meaning of generational wealth. And remember, if you are ready to take this transformation to the highest possible level, the Torah Millionaire Business School is waiting for you. For a limited time, you can access the complete Torah wealth system for just $299. This is the exact blueprint I have used to help thousands of people achieve massive financial and spiritual success. The doors are closing soon. Click the link in the comments, find it in the description, or scan the QR code on my channel banner right now. May you be blessed with immense financial abundance, profound peace of mind, and the clarity to walk the path of true prosperity in your life and in the lives of those you love. Shalom.